Have you ever looked into the eyes of the person you trust most and realized you were looking at a complete stranger? My name is Elias Thorne, and for 10 years I thought I was living the American dream in the quiet suburbs of Oak Haven, Ohio. I had a thriving architectural firm, a beautiful wife named Sarah, and a best friend, Marcus, who was closer to me than a brother. But dreams have a nasty habit of turning into nightmares when the lights go out. Before we go deeper into this story, take a second and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like and let us know where you're watching from. I'm curious to know how far these stories travel. Sarah and I met in college. She was the light in every room, and I was the guy making sure the foundation was solid. When I started my own firm, Marcus was my first investor. We were a trio, the Three Musketeers, as our friends called us. We spent summers on the lake and winters by the fireplace. I trusted them with my life, my secrets, and my heart. I never realized I was just handing them the tools to bury me. The shift was subtle. A lingering glance here, a late night at the office there. Sarah started hiding her phone, screen down on the nightstand. Marcus, who used to drop by for a beer every Friday, suddenly became too busy with the firm's accounts. As an architect, I know that a house doesn't fall all at once. It starts with tiny, microscopic cracks in the basement. I began to feel a chill in my own home that no furnace could fix. It happened on a rainy Tuesday in March. I returned home early from a site visit in Columbus because the weather had stalled the pour. I expected to find Sarah reading in the nook. Instead, I found two pairs of shoes in the hallway, her heels and Marcus's signature Italian loafers. The silence in the house was heavy, suffocating. My heart wasn't just beating, it was trying to escape my chest. I didn't scream. I didn't throw a fit. I walked up the stairs, each step feeling like a mile. Through the cracked bedroom door, I saw them. The two people who occupied the center of my universe were rewriting the laws of my reality. They weren't just having an affair. They were laughing. Laughing at a joke I wasn't in on. Laughing at the life I had built for them. I backed away before they saw me. I walked out of that house, got into my truck, and sat in the driveway for an hour. The rain hammered against the roof, mirroring the chaos in my head. I could have gone in there and ended it all in a moment of rage, but I realized something. Anger is a fire that burns the house down, but calculated revenge is the frost that kills the roots. That night, I stayed at a motel. I didn't call her. I didn't text Marcus. I opened my laptop and began looking at the firm's books. Marcus was my CFO. As I dug through the digital ledgers, I found something even worse than the physical betrayal. He had been skimming. For 3 years, my best friend had been siphoning off project funds into an offshore account. They weren't just stealing my wife, they were stealing my future. For the next month, I played the part of the oblivious husband. It was the hardest acting job of my life. I kissed her hello, I shook his hand at the office, and I watched them exchange secret smiles across the dinner table. Before we go deeper, I would love to hear your point of view. Tell me what part hit you the hardest in my story, the betrayal of the wife or the theft by the best friend, and share your thoughts in the comments. I didn't go to a divorce lawyer first. I went to a forensic accountant and a private investigator. I needed proof that was undeniable, the kind that stands up in a high-stakes courtroom. The PI caught them at a boutique hotel in downtown Cincinnati. The accountant found the ghost company Marcus used to hide the money. I was building a cage, bar by bar, and they were too busy celebrating their love to notice. I knew that if I filed for divorce normally, Sarah would get half of everything, including the firm Marcus was already bleeding dry. I had to be smarter. I began moving my personal assets into a protected trust for my parents and donating large, legitimate sums to charities we had always supported. I made sure that on paper, Elias Thorne was becoming a very poor man, while the firm's liability was skyrocketing. I invited them both to the office on a Friday evening, claiming we had a major new investor coming in. They walked into the conference room, looking radiant. Sarah was wearing a dress I bought her. Marcus was wearing a watch I gave him for his birthday. I sat at the head of the table and slid 2 thick folders across the mahogany surface. One was labeled Divorce, and the other was labeled Embezzlement. The color drained from Marcus's face first. He knew the legal weight of those documents. Sarah tried to play the victim, crying about how neglected she felt. I didn't raise my voice. I told them the deal. Marcus would sign over his shares of the company for $1 and return every cent he stole, or I would hand the files to the district attorney within the hour. Sarah's eyes turned cold when she realized the money was gone. Without the firm's wealth, Marcus wasn't the provider she thought he was. I offered her a choice: sign a post-nuptial agreement that gave her a small, one-time payout and no alimony, or we go to trial where I play the video of her and Marcus at the Cincinnati hotel for her entire family to see. It's amazing how fast true love fades when the bank accounts are frozen. In that conference room, they started turning on each other. Marcus blamed Sarah for distracting him. Sarah called Marcus a cowardly thief. I sat back and watched the two people who broke my heart break each other. It was the most satisfying architectural collapse I had ever witnessed. They both signed. They had no choice. Marcus left the office with nothing but the clothes on his back and a looming threat of a civil suit if he ever stepped foot in Oak Haven again. Sarah moved out the next day. Because of the evidence I had, her lifestyle was decimated. She moved from our 5-bedroom estate to a cramped apartment on the outskirts of town. It took a year to rebuild the firm's reputation after Marcus's mess, but I did it. I rebranded. I simplified. I realized that the American dream isn't about the house or the status. It's about the integrity of the people inside the walls. I kept the house, but I gutted the master bedroom. I wanted no trace of the ghost that used to live there. People ask me if I'm bitter. I tell them no. Bitterness is a poison you drink hoping the other person dies. I'm not poisoned. I'm vaccinated. I learned how to spot the cracks early. I learned that some people are only in your life for the family secrets and revenge they can extract. And once you realize that, you become untouchable. If you were in my shoes facing a double betrayal like this, would you have the patience to play the long game? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Today, I stand on the balcony of a new project, a library in the heart of the city. My life is quiet, and for the first time, it's honest. Sarah and Marcus are footnotes in a much larger story. Thank you for listening to my journey on family secrets and revenge. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your overall thoughts on the justice served here. Until next time, keep your foundation strong.